Welcome back. We're learning Ein Yaakov, tractate Baba Batra, and our discussion today, the topic is redemption of captives. Okay, so Ifra Hurmiz was the mother of King Shavur. So she sent a purse with gold dinars to Rabbi Yosef, requesting that it should be used for a mitzvah of major importance. Okay, she gave him money and she said, use it for a major mitzvah. So Rabbi Yosef was pondering what should be considered a mitzvah of major importance, when Abaye said to him, since Rabbi Shmuel ben Yehuda has taught that orphans should not be taxed, even for the redemption of captives, we can infer that redemption of captives is a mitzvah of major importance. Okay. So you shouldn't tax the orphans, even for a mitzvah of redemption of captives. So we figured out, if you said that way, means the redemption of captives is a major mitzvah. So Rava asked Rabbi Menashe, from where do we derive the saying of the rabbis that the redemption of captives is a mitzvah of major importance? He replied, for it says, and if they tell you, where shall we go? Say to them, said God, whoever is destined for death, to death. Whoever for the sword, to the sword. Whoever for famine, to famine. And whoever for captivity, to captivity. Jeremiah 15:20. And commenting on this, Rabbi Yochanan said, each punishment mentioned in the verse is harsher than the one before it. Thus, to be killed by the sword is worse than natural death. That this is so can be proved by common sense, or if you prefer, by citing a scripture. Common sense tells you that death by the sword is worse than natural death, because the sword mutilates the body. You familiar with that word?
Well, mutilates, yes, like it cuts it up,
Mutilates the body. And natural death does not. Or if you prefer, you can prove it from the pasuk. Precious in the eyes of God is the natural death of his faithful ones. Psalms 116:15. So we see the natural death is better than dying by the sword. That famine is harsher than the sword. The fact that famine is harsher than the sword can be proved by common sense, because death by famine brings a great deal of suffering. Meaning someone that had to starve himself to death.
Somebody that was forced to starve.
Well, famine. You didn't have food.
People that are nuts.
No, but it says famine. Famine is it's a war situation.
You don't have an option.
So, whereas death by the sword does not bring prolonged suffering.
Right.
Now, if you prefer, you can prove it from scripture. More fortunate were those slain by the sword than those slain by famine. Lamentations 4:9. Captivity is harder than all of them, because it includes the suffering of all of the other punishments. Consequently, the redemption of captives is a major mitzvah. So that's why Abaye told Rabbi Yosef to use the money that was received from a queen, the mother of King Shavur.
Shapur, right?
It says Shvur.
Oh, that's different than Shapur.
Well, could be the same, different pronunciation. But anyway, the point is, she gave him gold coins or gold dinars. Figured to do a major mitzvah, decided this is a major mitzvah to do, freeing the captives.
I think if I had to make a choice between dying by starvation or by a sword or a bullet, I'd take the sword and the bullet.
Yeah, because it's faster.
Who wants to die, you know,
Right.
starving. I'm not saying. I mean, took your poison.
There's a famous story with the story that Rebbe told about freeing the guy who freed captives. That
Yom Kippur?
yeah, they freed the whole family, and then they asked him, "Do you want to know the song, singing Gan Eden, or you want to know or do you want to be extremely successful?"
Oh, that's a different story.
And the reason why he merited such a blessing was because of freeing captives. He freed the whole family from the dungeon.
It's a big deal.
Yeah. Yeah, Bruchim Tiyu yesterday was 31, so if you'd ever count the Omer, should count the Omer.